G'day everybody, welcome back to Sprouts Tarot. So today is a money message that is meant to find you. So I know, I know, but I don't control what comes out of the deck, okay? So I just do a shuffle and whatever card wants to come out and tell me a story, I have got to pick that and I've got to remain true to my system. So I've got three cards here for you to choose: nightclub, cemetery, and countryside. Now don't let the headings throw you off. Just go by the image. Whichever one speaks to you the most, just click onto that pile. Trust me, readings will surprise you. So don't fear anything. Just go by gut, okay? I'll see you in a little while. G'day, Group 1. Welcome back. So if you picked the nightclub card, this is the tarot financial situation reading for you. So as per usual, this is only tarot. This is not real financial advice. For that, you would need to speak to a professional. Okay, so this is what we have. This card gives me the vibes that maybe a substantial amount or an impactful amount of your budget goes towards entertainment of maybe kind of like a social but frivolous nature. So that's what pretty much nightclubs are for. And this includes like, for example, those splurges that we have, maybe buying friends drinks and, you know, too many late night drive-thrus. All that is encompassed in this. It basically means just nighttime entertainment expenses. Okay, so the advice here is a stock split. Now, for those who don't really understand the concept, these are all like stock market and Wall Street type lingo, but that doesn't matter. Okay, so that doesn't matter at all. What we're going to do is just use these terms to explain our current situation and what the advice is. So what a stock split is you can read the blurb here, but generally it means a company issues a set amount of stock or shares, and for each share that is issued, they divide it into 2, 3s, 4s, but basically they split that one original share into more mini type shares. It doesn't change the capital value of the company, but each share is just basically divided into smaller portions. So that's okay, right? That makes sense, okay? So now that's the advice for what to actually do to control this nighttime splurge. But let's take a look at the other energies. Why that is recommended through a tarot perspective is because the particular phase in your life now is the balsamic moon phase. Now, for those who are aware of moon cycles, what this means is just that time before complete darkness or the new moon forms. And through my astrology practice, this is what I've noticed. When each lunation cycle lasts for 3.8 years, and during this time, from the peak to the new moon, which is complete darkness, there's a dead cat bounce time. And usually I found through astrology is that the 3.8 year balsamic moon phase, the dead cat bounce happens like sometime around the middle. So 1 and a bit years into a 3.8 year lunation cycle phase, you'll see a dead cat bounce. Okay, so that's another piece of the puzzle. And now from, I got another tarot deck to act as an anchor to our reading. So there's going to be a change in the way that you do something, because this is the Wheel of Fortune card. This is like a Ghana story where the little spider spins lots of webs and there's different manifestations. So it's kind of trickster energy, but generally things which were perceived to be bad can become good and vice versa. So that's what this card generally means. So now we've got 4 components here just by this energy alone. this is what I feel. I feel as though you're reaching a cycle in which it is time to slow down or tone down maybe the more strenuous aspects of your social life in preparation of something maybe bigger in the future that requires more concentrated energy. So instead of randomly dispersing your energy with and please don't get me wrong, okay, enjoy your life, okay, enjoy your life, but instead of maybe 1 week you drop like, you know, $300 going out, maybe you can split that instead of $300 going to, you know, a club and blowing it on drinks with mates, which is very good because you know, if you need that, you need that. Maybe set aside, say even $50, and buy a book that entices you to learn something new, or maybe join a hobby course, maybe for like you know, like $100 per week. But say you have allotted $300 as an expenditure for your nightlife. Now is time to stock split. So parcel that out into other areas. The overall $300 that you're planning to spend does not change. However, the way that you spend it in different categories may be a little bit more productive rather than just like spending it just purely for this area of your life. Now that's the impression that I'm getting. However, I don't really know the full story. So right now we are going to look at your story using the Big Mice Tarot. Okay, so this is a cute little deck. I got the pocket edition because I got small hands. But let's see what the story is. And maybe from that we can get new advice as well. Let's see. Okay, so give me the significator for this group. What's a significator for group 1? Okay, group 1. Okay, no significator card, but we've got 2 cards to start the story. Oh, okay. Can we see? Yep. All right, now let's see what's at the bottom of the deck. 3 of Cups, celebration. There we go. Okay. All right, so, sorry, I heard something in the background before and I kind of got distracted. So I'm back. So let's focus. Okay, so this is what I see at the moment. You've realized at this particular present point that you do need a new way of doing things or a new idea in life, basically to move ahead. But this idea, for some reason, is chained or bolted down and you can't find a way to release it. Okay, so you don't really know how to activate this thought that you have, even though you have one. Now you're waiting for a sign. So we know traditionally feathers contain a lot of spiritual meanings. They can be messages from loved ones who have left us. They can be all sorts of different. Oh, actually, let me look it up because I know what white feathers mean, but this is kind of like a blue feather, isn't it? Let's see what it means. Blue feather. I should have, blue feather, spiritual meaning. Spiritual meaning. What does a blue feather mean? Okay, so let's see. Okay, so let's see. It says spiritual meaning of finding a blue jay feather. A message of hope from a loved one to those in need of a positive jostle in the right direction. Well, there you go. Okay, so generally blue feathers are associated are positive symbols of peace, freedom and creativity. but specifically a blue jay feather is a message of hope from a loved one to jolt you in the right direction. And there we go. That's what we were talking about before. Okay, so this is a message. So somebody who does care for you, maybe who's on the other side, is giving you this particular reading, basically. And like I said before, in the past, you have maybe already left somewhere, or you are desiring to, but could not really move away from the situation. Because generally the Two of Swords, right? It's, you can't see the option, like you can't see the way out. And so not being able to find release, because can you see the little mice hands are all bound up by this little kind of shawl type wrap thing? So there's no access to the thinking faculties. So finally you were able to unbind yourself somehow with a thought, but the thought is still chained down. And now there's kind of like a spiritual message to tell you it's time to release this particular attachment. So if you take a look at this card, right? This is the immediate future. What's going to happen is, if you take a look, it's at night. And we were talking about nighttime expenses just then, right? And traditionally, the pentagram was seen to be a blessing, okay? So now these days, it's associated with many shadow aspects as well as the positive, but traditionally it was a protective mechanism. And so the Devil card symbolizes usually an emotional attachment to a situation or to a person that should be released, that you should release, but somehow you can't make yourself cut the cord. And maybe this is why there's like a message from people who you have who loved you but have passed on, to tell you that it is now time to release what is keeping you in this kind of like nighttime huge expenditure phase in your life. There is going to be a new person who's going to come into your life. Someone is going to come through. This person is going to help you in releasing this particular like attachment that you have. And since it is a page, we need to get a message, okay? So Page of Cups, let's get a message for this. Every time I see a page, I get awfully excited because I know it's message time. Okay, so let's see. What is this advice for this Page of Cups, from this Page of Cups? Please give me the advice for Group 1. What does Group 1 need to know? Oh, two things. Okay, 2 messages popped out. Okay. Create and manifest. Let's go with create first. You're being asked to connect with your creative side in whatever way feels best. This part of you needs extra attention right now. It needs to be expressed in a bigger way. Manifest. You're always manifesting, whether you're aware of it or not. Manifestation is based on your thoughts, and you're being asked to manifest consciously through positive thinking, so you'll attract into your life exactly what you're wanting. Okay, and you're wanting a stable new relationship. This relationship is going to bring you stability and ignite your creativity. This is the new person who's entering your life soon. Very, very soon. This person is the answer to why you couldn't figure things out before. So you had a period where you could not see, or 2 options appeared equally good or equally bad, and so you could not make up your mind, okay, because you couldn't really see the alternative. You could only see what's here. You couldn't see what's over there. Okay, so there's a great big world out there, but you could only see what is in your immediate vicinity. So this person is going to bring that side to you. And if you can take a look at this energy, it's rather cute, right? So this person that has a lot of swag and a little bag is kind of moving towards this person who already basically is the queen of her own little like domain, because look, she's got the little apron, so she's maybe baked herself a really nice organic cheesecake or some sort. But you're going to meet someone who's going to offer you maybe a life that doesn't require you to dissipate energy that way. After meeting this person, the creativity and what you want to manifest really starts moving in the right direction. Now, sometimes the Chariot card, you've got the two little sprinters in the front moving in different directions, but in this particular chariot card, it's not. They're both focused in exactly the right direction, and they're only doing so because you're commanding it correctly. So you're commanding both of them to run in a particular way, the way that you wanted. So this means you regain control of your life or of the situation. Finally, once this is released, the bind that's keeping you in this kind of like realm of, you exchange that for something that will grow into a brighter future, because the sun is very bright here, and now you're planting seeds that have just begun to sprout. So you will work on something that is going to give you a return in multiples of what you were prepared to receive, because 7 of Pentacles, you're actually making little, you're planting little things all over the place. Sorry. So when it's harvest time, it's not like a 1-for-1 ratio. This is leveraged. So you're going to get an abundance. Sorry, let me get some tea. Choked up with emotions about the way that your life is going to turn around. Okay, so at the bottom of the deck here, you will have a moment to celebrate, a celebratory moment. However, take a look at it. This time, instead of having friends in a dim, dark, area with a lot of I don't really knows, and maybe drawing attention to yourself in a very flamboyant way that's really not sustainable for the long term, you've swapped that for a close-knit group, like a group that genuinely knows you. So people who you genuinely feel comfortable with, and you're sharing small stories in an intimate setting. So maybe this person who comes into your life, they are going to show you a different way to be, quote unquote, outgoing or special in a more kind of subdued and calm way. It's a more mature vision of what having fun looks like. So that's what I see for you. The financial situation is basically maybe due to frivolous things at this stage in your life. The recommendation here is to even keep the same budget that you're prepared to spend, or what you usually do spend, except portion it differently. Take a creative hobby, because the advice here is to manifest and creativity, but you need to do it in a bigger way. So maybe instead of maybe going to clubs to try to numb the deeper passion and basically to talk about what you want to do, actually divvy up your budget so you can actually dedicate a portion of this money into gaining a real skill. So taking a course, joining a hobby, buying a new book to shift your consciousness into being an active participant of life, instead of, being a dreamer and saying, oh, I want to do this. Basically just do it. Okay, so that's what I have for you. I hope you enjoyed this reading, and please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. I look forward to seeing you again. Bye. Hello Group 2, welcome back. So if you chose this card, the Cemetery, this will be the financial suggestion via tarot. Okay, so not by a professional financial planner. So okay, there's a disclaimer here. Okay, this is purely from a tarot perspective on what you should do or what's coming up in terms of money. Okay, so I know this looks scary. Cemetery, resting place, memorial stones. Now, of course, this could be literal. I mean, who are we kidding? This is a bona fide place that people do go to. However, generally cards like this signify an ending. So some sort of process or cycle that has come full circle has reached the end. Okay, so that's pretty much all it means. I mean, unless otherwise stated in the tarot, we'll just assume it's an end of a cycle of some sort. Okay, so and what could that mean in terms of places? It could mean graduations from schools. So once you graduate, you end your academic life. Like you graduate from high school and you start working, or you graduate from uni, postgrad, etc. So it can mean that as well. Okay, now the financial situation here is other current liabilities. Okay, so these are financial terms specifically used in trading, you know, like the NASDAQ indexes and all that, but we don't have to worry so much about it. We're just trying to get like keywords and what financial kind of like instruments do. Okay, so in relation to our own finance. So other current liabilities are uncommon short-term debt, are grouped to identify insignificant current liabilities a company must pay within the next 12 months. So of course you're not a company, you're an individual, but we can take this to mean debts that you need to answer for or are responsible for within this next year. So whenever you click on this video, 1 year from this point, there could be payments that are due. Okay. Now, as per usual, I take other oracle and tarot decks to give me more inspiration on what this reading is going to be about. And I got this card, Six of Coins, from the Divine... Wait, let me get the name. Yeah, Tarot of the Divine. Okay, so now this is an Inuit woman, and her contribution to the world is to look after insects. So she carefully builds homes for them, she feeds them. So the idea is taking care of something very small or insignificant that most people tend to ignore, just like they're just unaware of, and giving your heart and soul towards things of that nature. Her companion is her trusted pet. So maybe you have a sidekick, somebody who has always done this together with you. So you yourself could be involved in charity work of some sort, or maybe you just do this like during your free time, like you volunteer at food what are they called, the free food free food lines. Yeah, I'm horrible. I should know the technical term for like home shelter workers and people who do volunteer work. Okay. Okay, the cycle of this particular reading is full moon. So full moon is the climax. It's what you see. It's the harvest or the result. But the full moon is in Libra. Generally, full moon in Libra is the most balanced. Lunar energy tends to be quite erratic because the moon changes signs every 2 days. Okay, so from an astrological perspective, the moon card, while being connected to like very maternal feelings like the mother, feelings, even the public. However, it does also give very erratic thought processes. However, in Libra, it's very balanced. And generally, because Libra is connected to Venus, Venusian energy generally talks about beauty, relationships with people, and even inner harmony within yourself. So this is the most balanced approach. And as you can see, win-win outcome is the forecast. So now I'm very excited on what this is going to be about, primarily because of this card. Okay, so I'm going to use the big Mice Tarot, but I've got the pocket version because I've got small hands. Now, what we're going to do is get the story. Okay, so tarot is going to fill in the blanks to what these cards are showing us, what the general energy is, but we still need to get the full story to see what messages may come up. Oh, wow, let's see. Okay, first card that flew out. Oh, Six of Cups. Well, that's a weird depiction, isn't it? Traditionally, Six of Cups is reminiscent of childhood, positive memories, but they're facing away from each other. Interesting. Okay, once again, unusual depiction. I like this Ten of Cups, but I've never really understood it. Okay, Five of Swords. Okay, let's see. I'll maybe put it down here. Oh yeah, put it down here, makes more sense. Oh, whoa, 3 sixes, but what are we missing? So we've got earth, we've got water, we've got air, but we've got no fire. What happened to the fire? No fire. What's at the bottom? Oh. Okay. First of all, when we've got 3 sixes, there's success of some sort. Okay, so we've got the good grace of fortune, materialistically, or we're being helped in some way. And we're also planning to make a new start. But why are we looking away from each other? Of course, this is this little guy when he was a really, really little guy. I think it is the small. It should be 1 because traditional energy is that this is reminiscent of the past. So the adult version of you and the child version of you does not reconcile. You guys have grown completely apart. You're very different to what you were like as a child. You know how some people never really change, like I haven't changed that much. I mean, I've just got more wrinkles, but fundamentally I haven't changed that much, but you have, because you're like polar opposites, the sun and the moon. So you were probably more outgoing, boisterous when you were young, and now you're more maybe reclusive. You're more subdued. You're more contemplative, because now you're looking at little things that, yeah, this is like a little tree branch of some sort that has been cut down, but cut down at a very young age. Okay, can you see this? This little tree stump has been pruned, quite forcefully pruned and over pruned, in my opinion. So maybe the adult version of you is realizing that the child version of you, maybe every time that you try to show more aspects of yourself, you were cut down by somebody. So in order to pursue your happily ever after, or what you wanted in life, you had to move away. Now, once again, 10 of Cups, the normal depiction is the rainbow with the family. But this one isn't it. This one is leaving familiar territory to go somewhere else, because this is in flight. So you're leaving something. You're leaving this aspect of your childhood behind. Yeah, because you are, look, you're making a new start. I think when you were a child, when things went wrong, you were blamed a lot, but you didn't know how to accept the responsibility because you didn't understand what it was. So if things did go awry, there was maybe an element of panic, because you can see that this little guy here doesn't really know what to do. Like he knows that something's been spilled. He knows that this is not such a good thing. But look, he's kind of paralyzed. He doesn't know what to do. Like normally he should just maybe get this cloth and just wipe it up, but he's just staring at it. So I think getting cut down in your creativity or in your right to exercise your will when you were young left you in a state of kind of suspended animation whenever something goes wrong. Like you're kind of like a deer in headlights, and you panic and don't really know what to do. And because of that, there is a need to leave. There's a need to leave this kind of mentality behind. There's a need to end it. And so you have been maybe doing a lot of soul searching, and part of that arose because there's an intuitive need that you felt. You had to study your own problem by yourself so you can understand why you were in this situation and how you dealt with the situation and what has led you to the current psychosis that you have, or the current worldview that you have. And this, after this period of listening to your own inner voice instead of listening to other people's criticism or other people's opinion of you, you finally formulated an idea on how to have closure. And this closure, this idea that you have, depends on fulfilling a certain obligation within this next 1 year in order to release this chain. Because after you've done that, okay, now, once again, death in tarot is not really death. Death is akin to kind of like the butterfly emerging from the chrysalis, okay? So it's not really a final thing, okay? So it's part of a cycle, it's cyclical. So as you can see, as this one perishes, there's the new version. So there's like Mickey 1.0, Mickey 2.0 kind of thing. So I think this cemetery is the final resting place of your formal persona. You are trying to rebalance yourself. This relationship is likely, so it's fundamentally, ultimately, it's to do with rebalancing yourself. However, it can be confronting somebody who cut you down when you were younger and led to the feeling of wanting to escape because you didn't know how to deal with responsibility at a certain time. And this left kind of like a whole kind of traumatic experience behind a certain phase in your life in which after you did some soul searching, you've got a new idea on how to resolve this finally. Maybe it is to confront the person, or maybe it is just to have closure for yourself, like exercising kindness for yourself. All the little points, for example, maybe shouting at you before they gave you a reason to explain yourself. That part of the vulnerability has been nursed back to health. Maybe this not allowing you to try, but criticizing you straight off, that's also been nursed back. So these 6 coins are actually 6 facets of your emotional being that was probably cut down when you were like a kid, but you didn't have time to reflect back then. Only as an adult were you able to see that you were cut down. So this is giving kindness to yourself. Like this is like redemption that you've given to yourself to be okay with who you are. The liabilities, I guess, is either maybe some sort of course, therapy, trip, any mechanism to break this bond. Maybe you took out a loan, maybe you borrowed you know money from some friends or something like that, and maybe finalizing this, because if you take a look at it, insignificant liabilities, uncommon. So maybe this is an aberration to the normal way that you do things, but to let go or to have closure, maybe you borrowed money, like I said, something that you don't usually do. Maybe you took out a very high interest rate loan. Maybe you borrowed from your parents or something. And I think in any of those variables, okay, so anything which was out of the norm that had to do with maybe some money that you borrow or took, or some items even, within the next 12 months, after you pay that off, the new version of you can finally emerge. So right now, the center is always the present, right? So right now, what's happening is you're taking flight to move towards your new, better tomorrow. And so right now, you've had this, you're here now, and you will emerge here after you've released this obligation that you have. Maybe it's not a huge sum for you, okay? So everybody's definition of huge sum differs, okay? So for some people, $100 is a big sum. Others, 100,000 is not really a lot of money. So it depends on your own situation. Yeah, but that's what I see. I see this as being closure. Oh, sorry, I just bumped the camera holder. Like closure for yourself rather than an actual like physical departure from this world. I see this more as a closure of a phase of who you were, ready to emerge as a new, brighter, more sagacious version. Like you've dealt with this childhood trauma shadow, and the new you that incorporates that knowledge is emerging. Okay, so that's what I see. Thank you very much for visiting me and allowing me to do this. And I hope you gain some sort of value from this. I look forward to seeing you again. Bye. Welcome back, Group 3. So if you chose this card, Countryside, Rural Beauty, Peaceful Retreat, Simple Living, this tarot financial advice reading is going to be for you. So disclaimer, this is not real financial advice. For that, you'll need to go to a financial planner or professional. This is tarot financial advice. Okay, so just take things with a grain of salt. Okay, so the card that I showed you shows lovely little villas all over the countryside, and there's nice red wine sitting on a tablecloth with some, I don't know, grapes, I think. Let me see. Yep, some vine leaf type basket thing. Maybe bunches of grapes inside that basket. So it's an idyllic, tranquil place. Now, the financial card that has come up is capital expenditure. So, like I explained to groups 1 and 2, these are like share, stockbroking, finance type of expressions. We don't really need to take a look at these terms in detail. We just need to get the gist of it, okay? So capital expenditure, they're just things like fixing homes, okay? So money that you spend, the layout to preserve or make something, okay? That's it. That's all this means. So of course this goes along quite well, okay, with the countryside homes. Now, I'm using the Tarot of the Divine to get like a general energy. And here we've got the Eight of Cups. So this is during the Egyptian time when Moses was asked to leave his princely role and to lead the Jewish people out of slavery. So basically, he's leaving his former life of opulence and wealth in order to strive for a greater good. Okay, so he's leaving a lot of things that was once his behind that he helped obtain. Now, the cycle of this reading. So, what phase is it? It's a brand new phase, okay? It's a new phase in your life where ambition or hard work is definitely the call of the day. So your hard work is paying off, new moon in Capricorn. So as we know, Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. So this little sea goat is very, very tenacious. Okay, so yeah, we all know what Capricorns are like. My husband's a Capricorn, so I know what Capricorns are like. Okay, now to get the story, however, I'm going to use the Big Mice Tarot, the pocket version. And because every time if I have a choice whether to get the normal size or the pocket, I'll always get the pocket because my hands are small. So it's difficult for me to use big cards. So I like these small little decks. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is to get a starter card, starter energy to see. Okay, maybe I need more of a shuffle. Okay, what this story is going to tell me about this home and the Eight of Cups. I mean, I have a feeling of what this story is going to be about. However, no harm in verify. Trust but verify. Okay. Let's see the first card there. Yeah, look at that. Okay. Oh, okay. Can we see that? Yeah. Okay, yeah. Oh, we got a page. We need a message. We need a message. And now let's see what is in the bottom of our deck. Okay, but we need a message because we've got a page energy. Okay, so Page of Swords, what would you like us to know? Dear Page of Swords, what would you like us to know? Okay, what is your message? What is your message? Okay. Courage. Ask what you are afraid of so you can overcome what's holding you back now. There are leadership opportunities for the taking. Whoa. Alrighty, yeah, well, there. Leadership Capricorn. Okay, all right. This kind of looks like maybe you are involved in a restoration project of some sort with a partner. Okay, so over here, it's giving you the countryside, the lovely little homes that many people these days buy and restore. So you could be doing something along those lines, though it doesn't necessarily have to be in the countryside exactly, because it says a peaceful retreat that's included. So maybe renovating someplace and turning it into like a spa or like beauty salon or something like that as well. So that encompasses all those types of things. Basically, you're looking at peace, you're looking at beauty, tranquility, and a getaway. So those would be the keywords here. Okay. But you are leaving something that you've already built. So you've already worked hard on this project, but you're willing to walk away from it and make a new start. And why are you doing that? Because there's an altercation. There's a battle of the wills. Because take a look, they can't agree. I mean, they've each had their say. And in the beginning, it's quite impartial, right? So it's just what's best for the project. But then it becomes a battle of the wills. And then when there's a battle of the wills, there's a fusion of ego being involved in deciding what is good for the project, but which is no longer objective. Like, it's not purely based on the projects. It's also what's good for the project plus who wins. And finally, it's reduced to the individual level where maybe it's acrimonious and things are getting maybe not so pleasant. And so during this time, you're trying to think of options. You're waiting for the genie to come out and grant you a wish. And the thing is, in life, that's never going to happen. So that's illusory. There's no genies allowing us to take 3 wishes. And out of those 3, we can't wish for 3 more wishes kind of thing. So, but there's an element of escapism in our thoughts, because the emotions are very overwhelming. So the thing with lunar or moon energy is that when it's big and bright like this, it's very stable and very optimistic. So the good thing is, even amongst all this confusion, you remain very optimistic, because the moon in this picture, okay, so you can see, is disproportionately large. So the moon card is usually a source of confusion, but in this case it's not. It's guidance. And because the moon is so huge and it's so illuminated, it's showing you exactly how to move from point A to point B very clearly, because it's highlighted the pathway that you must take. And it starts by putting a stop to this. So usually the Strength card encourages you to basically win by not fighting. Very Sun Tzu type of like philosophy, where the stronger one must bend, like water wears rocks away, you know. So using the kind of gentle, like war of attrition, more than straight out bam, 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 you know, type of warfare. However, if you take a look at this Strength card, this little fella is going straight for the noggin, which is the thinking center, which is the operating center. So you're basically stopping further disputes, further conflicts, like exactly on the spot before things spiral out of control. So you've definitely put a stop to it straight away as soon as you started. Maybe it didn't even deteriorate to this point. Maybe here, is where you're putting a stop to it. Okay, so you're changing directions and maybe just stopping things before they dwindle down to the like lowest hanging fruit, and you're just like throwing slurs at each other. So you've put a kibosh to it. And now, of course, the message is to be more courageous, because ask what you are afraid for so you can overcome what's holding you back. Now there are leadership opportunities for the taking. So this disagreement, this battle of the wills, because you've put a stop to it, you can rightfully lead this project, be it a restoration, any capital expenditure that is going to incur. Like, I don't know which side you're on. Maybe you're asking for more expenses to be made, or you're asking for things to be cut down. So that I'm not really sure, because here it's a new moon is generally the beginning of the cycle, but a new cycle. However, it says your hard work is paying off, which means that this is already maybe phase 2 of this restoration project, or the project that you're undertaking with your partner. This is already the second phase. So what I mean by that is, let's just take this restoring a country home. So maybe you've already bought the home like together. So both of you have taken out maybe the loan, like using joint names, and now you're basically discussing how to renovate or how much to renovate. And you've each contributed your share of the budget, and now maybe you're asking for more or to scale down. So maybe like phase 2 of this. But because there's a difference in opinion and you've rightfully put a stop before things deteriorated, maybe now the leadership, quote unquote, the leader of this project, basically, like implicitly, lands on you. And the bottom of the deck is here. So this is the 5 of Pentacles. Generally, it is a card of maybe feeling isolation. So my guess is during this time when there was disharmony, you did feel alone and you questioned, why am I doing this? Like, what's the reason for undertaking? Like, this is a very like good idea, right? Peaceful retreat. So why is forming a peaceful retreat become such an isolating endeavor where you feel lost and alone? So over here, I think the redeeming factor is you did put a stop before things deteriorated, and now the advice here is for you to step up. Like, now is the time for you to step up and take the leadership role, because maybe after this particular exchange, you realize your partner doesn't really have the strongest grip on what's going on anyway. So maybe this role is right for the taking from your perspective. So that's what I see for you. Money on capital expenditure is in the works for you. But try not to walk away from it, because right now you're at the cusp of having things like pay off. So there's a little bit of disharmony here, but if you give up now, you're throwing away a lot of things that you've already accrued, and it's really not necessary, because while there is that possibility of things not really working out, but the page, because pages come with messages, this is maybe the strongest like advice card, is to don't be afraid of it, even though things look scary now. Like, things look as though you're, you know, alone. But if you take the courage and like become the leader of this project, inject more of your thoughts into it, your logical, and introduce the beneficial reasons why you insist on doing something your particular way, I think this project is going to be very successful, because the hard work is going to pay off anyway. Okay, so that's what I have for you in terms of your financial situation from a tarot perspective. So I hope this was, provided some sort of value, and I look forward to seeing you again. Thank you for stopping by. Later.